Let's assume that one day we'll all have to leave Earth and look for a new planet better than Earth. Do you think there are planets in space that could support life or even do better than Earth? We're about to find out in this video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a closer look at some new planets that could potentially be better than Earth. First, why would we be looking for a new planet or a place better than Earth? The simple answer is curiosity. We want to know what is out there, whether we're alone in the universe or others are living elsewhere. Perhaps one of the most important people looking for a home in space better than Earth is Elon Musk. He has an ambitious goal of settling on the planet Mars someday. However, Elon Musk is not the only one who is curious to know if there are lives out there in space or if there are any habitable planets just like Earth. In 2009, NASA launched the Kepler Space Telescope to discover Earth-sized planets orbiting other stars in our galaxy. Before then, there was evidence of exoplanets, but researchers wanted to be sure if any of these could support life forms. In other words, exoplanets are planets in the galaxy not found in the Earth's solar system. Therefore, the goal of the Kepler telescope was simple. It was launched to observe our galaxy and determine the fraction of hundreds of billions of stars that might have Earth-like planets. At the time of its launch, the Kepler Space Telescope had the largest primary mirror on any telescope in space and a powerful 96-megapixel camera to capture interesting outer space images. The Kepler Telescope observed exoplanets using a transit method. In other words, this means observing a planet as it orbits around its star. For instance, you could observe planet Venus from Earth as it transits our solar system's star, which is the Sun. It would appear as a black dot creeping across the Sun. Therefore, this method works by measuring the level of dimness caused by an exoplanet and its duration. This information is important as it is used to estimate a planet's orbital size by the duration of the dimness and its size by the level of the dimness. Furthermore, this information is also interpreted and used to determine the temperature of a planet and whether it is habitable or not. As a result, the Kepler telescope was able to observe over 530,000 stars during its active operation period and confirm the existence of over 2,600 new exoplanets. In total, the Kepler telescope is responsible for 70% of the roughly 3,800 confirmed exoplanet discoveries today. And if you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any interesting updates. Now let's talk about some of the exoplanets discovered and their potential of supporting life. These are unlike what you've ever seen, so prepare to be amazed. Most of these exoplanets are bigger than the size of the Earth, and some are so close to their parent stars that they complete their orbit in a few days. Because of this proximity to their stars, some of them have surface temperatures hot enough to melt iron. That's not all. Kepler even discovered a planet, Kepler 16b, orbiting two stars. If you're on this planet, you'll be lucky enough to see a double sunset. Eventually, in December 2011, NASA announced the discovery of the first exoplanet, Kepler 22b, in the habitable zone of a star outside our solar system known as Kepler 22. The habitable zone is also known as the Goldilocks zone and is a safe distance from a star where liquid water can exist. For instance, Earth is in the Goldilocks or habitable zone of our solar system because it is not too close to the Sun where all its water would evaporate, or too far away from the Sun where all the water would freeze. The presence of water is significant to life, and that is why it is an important discovery. In 2019, there was a landmark discovery when two independent research studies concluded that there is a significant amount of water vapor in the atmosphere of K2-18b, an exoplanet in the habitable zone of the K2-18 red dwarf star. The planet was initially discovered in 2015, and its composition has been studied using other telescopes. It is 124 light-years away from Earth and 8 times its size. According to the estimate of data obtained from the Kepler telescope, 6% of red dwarf stars have Earth-sized planets in their habitable zone. The red dwarf is the smallest, coolest, and most common type of star in our galaxy. Another significant landmark discovery was in 2014, when NASA announced the discovery of a habitable exoplanet that is similar to Earth. This discovery was received with a lot of excitement, as studies suggested that it might have seasons and a climate similar to what we have on Earth. The name of this exoplanet is Kepler 186f, and it revolves around the Kepler 186 red dwarf star. It is 500 light-years away from Earth, and the radius is similar to Earth's. Also, it is the first rocky Earth-sized exoplanet discovered in the habitable zone. There are several follow-up studies in research universities across the world to understand this exoplanet and many others. Some early discoveries of potential Earth-sized exoplanets by Kepler were rejected as false positives due to algorithm error, but are now being rediscovered. They are now slowly reanalyzed in conjunction with data from other telescopes. An example is the Kepler 1649c that has been dubbed the most similar planet to Earth found by the Kepler Telescope. It was rediscovered in 2020 while comparing old data from the Kepler database with new findings from Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, or TESS. It is about 300 light-years away from Earth, and it orbits the Kepler 1649 red dwarf star alongside two other confirmed exoplanets. NASA identified it as a rocky exoplanet, and it shares many similarities with Earth and may have favorable conditions for life. For example, its size is only 1.06 times larger than Earth. Also, the amount of light it receives from its star is only about 75% of the amount of light Earth receives from the Sun. This means that the temperature would probably be similar to Earth's as well. However, it is important to know that even if an exoplanet is found in a habitable zone, it does not mean it would support life. Most of these exoplanets revolve in a close orbit to their parent star, and this may expose them to harmful radiation from their parent stars. Also, the temperature may fluctuate extremely, making such exoplanets either too hot or too cold. Also, some are tidally locked to their stars, which means that there is a side constantly facing the star and another side always opposite. The side perpetually facing the star would be too hot, while the other side would be too cold. Also, since most exoplanets are several times the size of Earth, they are expected to have a significant envelope of gases, such as hydrogen, that would make the temperature and pressure of any existing water on the surface unconducive to support life. There is still more to learn about the surface and atmosphere of these exoplanets, but the right technologies are just not available yet. However, future telescopes such as the James Webb Space Telescope and future large ground-based telescopes could allow scientists to determine the mass of an exoplanet and even study its atmosphere. It has also been estimated that 1 in every 5 Sun-like stars have at least one planet the size of Earth that would have suitable conditions and temperature to support life. And there are 17% Sun-like stars in our galaxy alone. This means that there could be billions of potentially habitable planets that are yet to be discovered. Although only 16 out of about 2,600 exoplanets found by the Kepler Telescope are in the habitable zone, it was able to discover more facts that are fascinating. For instance, there are gas giant planets enveloped by thick layers of gases. They are sometimes referred to as hot Jupiters, and larger than the size of Earth, with mainly gases or ices and a small core of rocks or iron. An example is Kelt 9b, and it is the hottest exoplanet discovered so far. There are super-Earth planets, which are several times the size of Earth. This definition includes exoplanets that are bigger than Earth but lighter than ice giants like Neptune or Uranus. The Kepler 22b is an example of a super-Earth exoplanet discovered in 2011. Also, there are lava planets with a surface covered by molten lava. These exoplanets are so close to their parent stars that their surface is covered with molten magma. And there are Trojan planets, which orbit around other planets instead of a star. Although there is no confirmed Trojan exoplanet yet, the Kepler 91b was once suggested to have a Trojan planet. In October 2018, the Kepler Telescope ran out of fuel after 9 years, 7 months, and 23 days of observing exoplanets in the galaxy. And a good night command was sent from NASA's Earth Observing Station. Are there others living on some of these exoplanets already? Do you think they'll ever find a habitable planet better than Earth? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to get more interesting videos.